Spring has finally arrived, which means it's convertible season. This is the ultimate sleeper convertible. Blending the best in luxury and seemingly limitless power, this is the twin turbocharged 500 horsepower V12 Mercedes-Benz SL600.
This car is equipped with the optional keyless go, so as long as I have the key in my pocket, I can jump right in the car, put my foot right on the brake, and you've got an electronic vacuum style ignition. Sounds pretty awesome. Listen to this. Under the hood here, you're going to find a 5.5 liter V12 engine. Now this is common among the 03 and newer 12-cylinder, actually I should say 600 series, because the 65 is overwhelmingly large, but this car is rated at 493 horsepower. I've been told by a number of people that have actually dynoed these independently that they make closer to 530, 540 horsepower at the crank. Another real indicator is the torque in this engine is absolutely immense. At 1800 RPM, this car is making its peak torque, which you're going to find 590 foot-pounds. It's pretty amazing, but it's routed to the 5-speed automatic, which is the only transmission available with the car, and turn routed to the rear wheels. Like I said, it's a sleeper because it looks like an SL500 Sport, but wait till you see how fast this thing is. It's unbelievable. Let's get up close to the SL600, show you the condition of the car as well as the features. The SL600 doesn't have a lot in options. Then again, the SL doesn't have a lot in options. A couple stone chips across the front. I mean, a black car that's been on the road for any amount of time is going to have that, but overall, excellent. You do have front and rear park distance control, so you can see the park sensors here, as well as the xenons on the exterior. Walking around to the driver's side here, you're going to find a turbine-style wheel. Now, this was introduced on the SL55 and stated as an option for all the Sport Pack cars, but you've got the Continental Conti Sport Contact 3 tire, 255 ZR18 in the front, 18-inch wheel. You can see you got cross-rolled rotors in there with the AMG brakes, but V12 badge here, one of the very small telltale signs that this actually has that potent to power lurking under the hood. But look at the black paint all the way down. It'll only reflect that way actually if these cars are really well cared for. Over here again, Continental Sport Contact 3s. These are probably, you know what I didn't state, is they're probably better than 80% front and rear. Pretty fresh and soft at that. 285 35 ZR18s on the rear. But coming around to the rear, again, exterior wise, this car doesn't really tip you off that it's got 500 plus horsepower lurking under the hood. Proper SL600 badging. Just the regular single outlet exhaust on each side, similar to the 500. But again, the passenger side is uniform with the driver's side. No damage to speak of. This is a folding hardtop, real simple to use. Press and hold the switch down on the console, and it does everything else for you. It goes from a convertible to a sports coupe, and I guess I'd say about 25 seconds. And that's it, and you still have a suede Alcantara roof liner along the A-pillars and the balance of the headliner here. Since we have the roof up, we can actually take a look inside here. You can see we just washed it, so I'm getting a couple rain drips there, or water drips. But this is actually the cargo cover. This actually has to be in place in order for the roof to come down. So when you don't have the roof stowed, or if you need to get actually back into here for access, you literally can just push this back and you'll have your whole trunk. But full books from Mercedes-Benz, which is great to have because obviously there's lots of stuff to figure out on here. And the V12 unique floor mats for this car, which are included. And then below the floor here, you're going to find the untouched collapsible spare and tools, as well as the battery mounted in the rear for weight distribution. If you look inside across the V12 seats here, you actually have a little insignia in the headrest that says V12, which is V12, for those of you that don't know. Dual power leather in the front. These are comfort seats that are standard on the 600. They are optional everywhere else, but it has a pulse function here, which gives you a lower lumbar massage, as well as a bunch of inflatable bladders throughout the seats. So you're not challenged for a custom driving position. That's phenomenal. But this car does have a full leather interior. You got full leather on top of the dashboard, doors, you name it there. As I said, dual power seats. You got 3-position memory on both sides, as well as heated and ventilated, with a power tilt and telescoping wood steering wheel over here, and an automatic setting for the xenon headlamps. Behind the front seats, you got a power slider that's going to access the storage that's back here. On the passenger side, you got a little well here. That literally is nothing but storage. I normally find the manuals in there. And then behind me here, I've got access to the 6-disc CD changer, as well as extra storage. This car's got an active roll system, so if the car senses a rollover, it'll actually pop this bar up here in less than a second. But you do have a windscreen attached to it, that if you don't have the full bar raise, you can actually use this. It goes a little bit higher than when it's attached to the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the power lift for that. I personally think it's kind of a cooler look, and with the windows up, you can actually create a little bit of a cocoon. As you see here, the driver's window goes up. I'll pull it again. You can see the driver's rear window goes up, and when you're on the highway at 70, 80 miles an hour, it's as serene in here as a car. Actually, it's more serene than a car with a sunroof open, because you don't have the drag, and it's really calm with a great stereo to pair. You can see I've got the multi-function wood wheel here that controls the trip computer and a bunch of functions right through the cluster there, but really simple layout here, similar to the rest of the SL models. You've got the factory navigation system here, in-dash CD. This is a BOSE sound system, so you've got 6 discs back there with individual here, as well as SIRIUS satellite radio from the factory. That is a standalone option. Behind that, you're going to find the dual zone automatic climate control. Literally, I think just hit this, hit that and it'll go right to the auto mode. Just dial up your temperature and the car will manage it for you. Pretty simple. You got the shifter here for the 5-speed automatic. It's pretty straightforward. It's got what's called touch shift. This just goes right into the regular drive. If you want to go into the manual mode, pop it to the left, you'll start in first gear. Pop it to the right to upshift, and pop it to the left to downshift, and you'll get your gear reading right there. ABC stands for active body control, and that really will amplify the suspension, the throttle, and the steering to really change the characteristic of the car from a luxury cruiser to a very comfortable Grand Touring car. You do have height adjustable suspension. It's actually raising me up right now. It's like having 16 switches. Well, Dave and I are out behind the wheel, the SL600, on a beautiful, it is November, we're getting into mid-November now, it's Friday the 13th, did you know that? But this is probably the smoothest car I know of, aside from the Lexus GS450 hybrid. The only reason I say that would be as smooth as this is just because it doesn't even have gears, but I mean the power this car has. We were just talking and trying to figure out what car even feels this fast, let alone is, but once these turbochargers come on, I mean, this car has such a difficult time just putting the power down. I mean, it'll do it. It's still a Mercedes-Benz, but it's phenomenal and very comfortable. The car doesn't drive any different from brand new. You know, I've driven a handful of the 600s. I think it is, you know, as I said earlier, I think it's the ultimate sleeper. You know, it looks like just a normal SL Sport. Doesn't really scream at you like the SL55, but the power is, and you barely even have to lean on it for the thing just to launch. And it's so smooth, the camera will give you no illusion of how fast this car really is, because it's so smooth. There's no sound, and it's geared so tall. Like, that's a big pushback in your seat at maybe a third of the throttle there, and I don't know, something to be said for that. You know, that's Dodge Viper-esque torque. And that'd be a turbo Viper, that is. We're out on the highway, cruising at highway speeds. Got the wind blocker up on the roll bar in the rear. And we also have all 4 windows up all the way around. But what's remarkable about it is that it's pretty serene. I mean, I get a lot of comments making fun of my hair and stuff, and it's funny, trust me, I do think it's funny. But, I mean, I have hair here, and it's pretty much sitting right in place in the spot I would be sitting at 70 miles an hour on the highway. At conversational level, speaking volume. But you know what else you got? Oh, shit. That is incredible. Very, very cool. This is a first gear roll-on. I mean, this is nuts, this kind of power. That's insanity. nothing out there can substitute the smoothness of a 12-cylinder. And with the twin turbocharging, I mean, it's seamless. This torque is unreal. I mean, this car just sits down and goes. If you had your female friend in here, or what have you, they wouldn't know if this car was this fast because it's so smooth. The SL55 lets you know at every shift, every second that it's trying to go fast. This one, if you just lay into it, there's so much torque that the car will seemingly go super legal speeds without virtually any effort.